Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use Swoobat. Now, I'm incredibly excited to review Swoobat. I don't care about those low stats, because Swoobat has the fastest stat boosting of any Pokemon in the game. I know, that's crazy to think about, that this Pokemon out of nowhere that seems like it has terrible stats actually gains stats faster than any Pokemon. That's crazy, but let's look at this. So, 67 on hit points and 77 on special attack. We don't have much to work with. Tankiness, we're not even that tanky. I mean, 55 on special defense and defense means that this is a pretty frail Pokemon, but we do have 114 base speed. 114 base speed is actually pretty good because we're going to get a lot of really crucial outspeeds. Would be nice if we were 116 instead, that way we could also trump out 115 base speed Pokemon, but it is enough to get us where we need to go really quick, and that's what it's all about. So let's go and look at its typing. It's going to be a Psychic Flying typing, so really interesting typing, and it is fairly vulnerable that we do have to worry about Dark, Ghost, Electric, Ice, and Rock, and we don't really get much back in return. We get 4 times resist to fighting, and then Grass and Psychic and just regular resisted, and we also have ground immunity. It's not really worth the trade in my opinion. Hopping into Pokemon Showdown, we're finally going to see Swoobat, and we're going to make sense of all of this crazy talk I've been going on about. If this Pokemon stat changes are raised or lowered, the effect is doubled instead. That is going to be the simple ability. That's why simple Swoobat is just so insane. So then we can break it down further. Weakness policy. If we get hit by a super effective attack, that means we gain attack and special attack by 4 stages each. We're tripling our attack or special attack immediately, just done, just like that. Amnesia, going to give us 4 stages in special defense. Double Team, going to give us 2 stages in evasion, and then stored power. Plus 20 power for each of the user's stat boosts. Well, I mean, we can max out stats so quickly that if weakness policy procs, we're immediately getting 80 power. On top of that, 100 base power psychic type stab move if we get hit by a super effective attack, and that's before we do any other boosting. That's how insane Swoobat is. Now, this was featured in Fan Fridays, and it blew me away, and I feel that, Hawlucha is an excellent Pokemon on the support side. So the idea is you fling on the Swoobat. So by flinging on the Swoobat, you're proccing that weakness policy, and you can also fling a berry. So we see berries like Salac Berry. We could also go for something like a Ganlon Berry. That way if we want to get defenses, we could throw out whatever berry we want onto it. And when you fling a berry of this nature, it actually boosts that stat. So if I'm flinging a Ganlon Berry, it's automatically going to make Swoobat gain that defense. It's automatically going to make it gain speed if it's a Salac Berry. However, simple ability. So by proccing this weakness policy with the fling, we're going to be getting plus 10 in 1 turn. Like, that's so silly to think about, and it's going to be on both offenses and whatever other stat we want. If we want speed, we can make it work, and then we also throw out the Amnesia. That's plus 14 in 1 turn, and then we just keep stacking it on top of that. So let's go and see what other things we have. So first off, you can run it for that modest nature, try to get out some damage, or you can go for the defenses. I like the idea behind the defenses because then that means we can run bold, that means we max out hit points, max out defense, we use Amnesia the turn we're getting flung, and also fling is going to do less damage by maxing out those defenses, and then we can fling a Salac Berry. That the strategy did show a Salac Berry, and that's just because we don't have to invest in speed on Swoobat, but it's still going to gain a lot of stats. So 265 is going to get that 50% boost. Now we also can always change around the stats a bit, so we can also take some EVs off of hit points and then put those in other places. For example, at level 50, if you want to outspeed 135 base speed Pokemon after that Salac Berry boost, we're going to need 28 EVs to get to that 138, which means we can still have a pretty good hit points. We don't have to take off much, but that's going to give us more specific outspeeds, and then we just kind of play it the same. So we are going to have to worry about physical attacks, but Hawlucha can cover us right there if we want to go with something like a Feather Dance. That way we can lower their attack before they hit us on that next turn, and if we survive the first turn, then we can pretty much win from there. So the first turn is going to be like set up the Amnesia, get tons of stats right there, get our attacks boosted, get our special attack boosted, have some speed in us, and then just go for ultimate craziness. Now if you want to set up more, you can throw out a Double Team. Double Team is going to effectively become a Minimize. So now we're going to be very tanky. We have Double Team on our side, or we can just go for Roost. Roost means we're going to be able to stay on the field a lot longer, and that can be really nice as well. We also don't even have to have it be Hawlucha. We can have other Pokemon. So we have some good stuff like that. Air Cutter is also an idea that you can have. That way you don't get completely immune by Dark-type Pokemon, and it also hits both opponents. So if we're going +4 special attack, it kind of doesn't matter at that point, but at the same time, we do have a low special attack, so we're not going to get insane damage off the double Air Cutter. We can put in another move. That's where we could have like our Double Team or something. So it is up to you. That stored power is going to be our biggest damage, but we do get immune by Dark-type Pokemon. So you might want to have a Pokemon with Fighting-type moves, or just something to deal with Dark types after this, and then have stored power just one-shot everything else. And then Hawlucha's still a really good boss after that. You have Quick Guard. Quick Guard makes it to where you don't have to worry about any kind of shenanigans with Brave Bird or some kind of priority that you can also kind of shut down a Prankster Pokemon as well. And then we have Skydrop. Skydrop means that we're just going to outspeed the opponent, remove them from that, make it a 1v1 with Swoobat, have Swoobat blow up that Pokemon with a stored power, and then we're kind of good to go after that. So Hawlucha is going to play a really heavy support role even after that Fling setup. So any Pokemon with Fling and some kind of supportive qualities are going to work really well, and then you just have Swoobat carry the rest of the game from there. And that's going to be it. Most of it's going to come from doubles, but we can also play Swoobat in singles. Going to be a bit riskier because you aren't going to have that speed boost, so you're going to need to make it to where you boost your own speed. It's going to be a bit more interesting because like you could go with the Bold Nature and get a little out of your defense, or you just go Timid Nature, you just max out the speed, max out the hit points, and just hope you don't run into a physical Pokemon until you get set up. But as for a special wall, you do really well as a special wall. You have Double Team, Calm Mind, and Roost. So against special attackers, you outspeed them with the Double Team and +2 on the special attack, as well as a lot of stored damage potential, and then you just go for Double Team. Double Team is going to give you that minimize, so if you're outspeeding them, Double Team, Calm Mind, stored power now going to be probably one-shotting them, and you have a hard chance of getting hit. If they're hitting you specially, it's not going to be for much damage. Citrus Berry is going to be reliable, and that's pretty much the setup game that we're going to play with Swoobat. So we try to become unhittable, we try to throw out the stored power, and then we make the magic happen. So if you guys enjoyed this video, that's how you use Swoobat. Yeah, it's a crazy gimmick Pokemon, but it does gain stats absurdly, and if your opponent doesn't stop it, then it has a very, very good chance of winning. So if you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.